Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Glad to welcome you back to the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and it's time to talk some Alabama volleyball. The season gets going, so it's time to debut our new show on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, Lindsey Devine Live, and it's brought to you by Alabama One Credit Union, a proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. And Coach Devine joins us now from her office at Foster Auditorium. And Coach, Roll Tide, it's finally here. Are you guys excited for volleyball season?
Absolutely, Roger. It seems like we've been in preseason forever, and now we're finally going to be back in Foster in front of maybe a few family, friends, and a little crowd. So, yeah, we're looking forward to Wednesday.
Yeah, everybody was really getting excited around this time last week for the season opener that was scheduled for Saturday and Sunday, but then there were some COVID issues with the Missouri Tigers, so that's why the matches were postponed. Just how did you guys kind of manage that situation and use this last week to your benefit?
You know, Roger, this is the times where you just have to kind of go with it and not be too wrapped up with what's going to happen tomorrow. If it happens today, then we're going to be prepared for it. I know that the girls were excited to play last weekend, but we had a little bit more time out in the court, and they are just as passionate to get out there and do what they can do so well at.
Well, you have 7th-ranked Missouri coming to town. What can you tell us about the schedule we will see for the Crimson Tide this year? Because it is a bit different from what our fans are used to.
Absolutely. So we are going to be playing back-to-back matches. So a team such as Missouri is coming to us, so we will play them Wednesday and Thursday. So this will be an opportunity to see what you can do on one night, make some in-game adjustments during the match, and then overnight, and then play them again. And then also this fall, we will be facing Georgia and LSU. Georgia on the road, LSU at home, and we also have Florida in there. So 4 opponents, but 8 matches.
4 opponents, 8 matches, so you're going to get to know these teams quite a lot. They're going to get to know you as well. And let's talk about the current version of the Crimson Tide. What do you like about this team heading into the first match?
Oh, I love their passion. I love their work energy. I love their maturity and how they have embraced the new normal, whatever that can be defined as. So every day they've come in and they've accepted the goals that we have put in place in front of them from the coaching staff, and they have attacked them. I love the work that they've done in the weight room, but even better, it's just the inclusiveness, the growing of our culture, this family approach. Our players have embraced all of those things that are important to growing this culture for Alabama volleyball.
And speaking of the culture, what did you learn about the culture of Alabama volleyball in year 1 as head coach, and then how has it kind of grown as you get ready for year 2?
I think it's just that they had to get familiar with our coaching staff, me in particular. They had to know what the expectations were. And once that was established, the expectations, then it was about ownership and accountability. I want these players to buy into what we have outlined as our identity. And they have. And I just think it comes from communications, building that relationship, and it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. So year 1 to now year 2, you see a difference within the players and how they communicate with me. And I believe it's just everybody buying into what our mission and vision are here for at Alabama.
Everyone's glad that we are able to play sports during a pandemic, but it is interesting that volleyball is really the first indoor sport that's going to be resuming play during this pandemic. What can you tell us about some of the safety measures that are in place for your players and your staff as they go through not just practice, but the matches coming up?
Well, between Alabama and the SEC conference, they have a strict protocol in place. So every time when we walk into Foster, we get we have to make sure we do the web link to tell of our health status. We also have to take our temperature. And then we have worn masks from day 1, from coaching staff to all players. When we are in team huddles and discussions, we try to keep that 6 feet of distance between each other. Our locker room just opened up last week. Again, we just didn't want people congregating around. But, we reinforce the importance of hand washing, wearing those masks, not only when they're here on the campus, but outside. in their, their cars, in their apartments, anything that they can do to keep themselves safe. So between Alabama, what we do here, which is great protocols, the SEC also has those guidelines in place for us too.
And are you proud of the players for showing the kind of discipline they have and also a lot of maturity and being able to stick to this protocol each and every day?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a testament to how committed they are as athletes, as people in their surroundings, and also the respect to make sure that their teammates are safe. So if they're doing their part, if I'm doing my part, if our staff everybody's doing their part, then again, that's just helping our opportunity to play this fall.
Let's go through for just a few minutes, just kind of position by position, looking at Alabama volleyball, and setting is always so important. So what can you first tell us about your setters and who we may see on the court come Wednesday?
We have 3 setters on this roster. We have a grad transfer from Texas, Riley Fisbeck. And right now she's been getting the quarterback role, running the 5-1. And of course, we're so excited that we have Megan Nealon, who was on this squad last year, and Emily Yannick. All 3 of the young ladies really have different skill set, and they bring some different things to our lineup. So I think that again just adds to who we are, what we can offer, and how hard it's going to be to scout us.
All right. How about right at the net, your middle blockers?
Well, of course, we have returning Aaliyah Wells, who was on the all-freshman SEC team last year. So we're super excited that Aaliyah is healthy. And working extremely hard. And then we have 2 freshmen, Chase Campbell and Ali Trame. So between the 3 of them, they have embraced everything that we've been throwing at them to be up fast and available. But they understand their importance, that they are middle blockers. So they're going to own that net, which they do every day in practice. And I think you're going to see that carry over into the games.
So they're going to be getting the stuffs of the net, getting those key blocks, and then everyone loves to see the big swings, the big kills from your outside hitters. What do you like about this group in 2020?
Well, of course, we got Doris Carter, and she's terminal. She's such a powerful player. But what I like where Doris has developed is she's increasing her range, and she's really thinking about what she has to do when the set isn't perfect. And then we're so excited that we have a transfer in Kennedy McElroy, and she joined us in the spring. So she's been in our gym all last spring, even though it was cut short. But she is a lefty and has such power and understanding of the game. And you add 2 more in there, Abby Majarmi, that came and transferred to us. She's so smart, Roger. She has the understanding of where the defense is set on the other side, and she finds those holes, and she makes it look really easy. And then we're super excited on our spotlight would be Kendall Ray. She's so composed and has such great ball control. It's hard to keep her off the floor because of her ball control, because of her defensive mentality. So having 4 pins really gives us some options.
Yeah, and speaking of Ray, is she going to be more left side or right side?
Well, that's the beauty of it, that everybody can play on both pins. So again, it comes down hard to scouting us. I think she feels more comfortable on the left. But again, she's just one of those selfless players. Hey, coach, if I need to be on the right because that's where my block is needed, where I can tool the block, then we're going to put her there. So I like the versatility that we have in these 4 pins.
Well, that's certainly good to hear. And then last but not least, you got to get some digs. You got to keep it moving in the back. What can you tell us about your defensive specialists, and have you named a libero for this season just yet?
Well, we haven't named a libero yet because the competition is so high, and each one of our littles, we call them the littles, they come into the gym, and they've been working so hard on their serve reception and their defense mentality. So Kaylee Thomas, of course, is back. I love her voice. I love how she commands the backcourt and really orchestrates, make sure everybody is where they need to be. But pushing her and adding to our team is Madeline St. Germain. She's a grad transfer. Again, Madeline is quick. I believe she had 652 digs last year at her school. So she's quick, and she really brings that experience. She's played a few years in a competitive league. And then we also have Katie Shook, who again, she's took what we did last year, and she has really been another person that has raised the level of her play for us in the gym. And then we also, we got Taylor Drapp again, who's primarily been hanging out in the middle, but her serve is really something that I think keeps the opponents off balance, because she can serve deep, long, aggressive. And then we have our last little freshman, and that's Vic Schmer, who's a local kid. She's got the energy, she's got the communication skills, and now we're just trying to make sure that she's got that touch on the ball.
Well, that's a really good scouting report on the Crimson Tide, and as we start to wrap things up, we'll just talk about the opponent coming up this week for the Crimson Tide. Missouri is ranked 7th in the nation. What can you tell us about what they're bringing to Tuscaloosa?
Well, on paper, and you're thinking that the paper is going to translate to the people that are actually going to come, you just never know in this day. But they have Kylie DeBerg, an outside, and Alecator, she's another outside. They last year came into Foster, had a lot of range, hit with a lot of power. They have 2 strong middles that run a lot off of 1 foot behind the setter. I don't know what's happening with the setting position. This year is the year where players could opt out. So again, I'm not quite sure whether the team will be what is on paper. So there may be some pieces that we don't know about. I know they got a couple of transfers, but Roger, we just got to take control on our side of the net. We'll make some in-game adjustments as we go, but it's all about what we do well.
Well, we look forward to seeing your team hit the floor coming up on Wednesday. That match will be shown on SEC Network Plus, and then the SEC Network coming up on Thursday, Alabama and Missouri. And Coach, we're really excited that the season is here. We hope we can catch up with you each and every Monday throughout the season if your schedule allows. So just thank you for joining us. Roll Tide.
Thank you so much, Roger. Of course, Roll Tide.
All right, that's Lindsey Devine. Thank you for watching Lindsey Devine Live here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network.